Coming up, night 3 of the RNC features vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Thanks for staying up with us. On the third night of the Republican National Convention, Senator J.D. Vance made the case for a second Trump presidency and for himself as vice president. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from the convention in Milwaukee.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance accepted the Republican nomination for vice president with former President Trump looking on.
I officially accept your nomination to be vice president of the United States of America.
The former Marine first rose to national prominence with his best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy.
I grew up in Middletown, Ohio. A small town where people spoke their minds, built with their hands, and loved their God, their family, their community, and their country with their whole hearts.
On the third night of the GOP convention, other speakers focused on foreign policy and national security. Gold Star parents Herman and Alicia Lopez talked about losing their 22-year-old son in the 2021 suicide bomb attack at Kabul airport that killed 13 U.S. service members.
Donald Trump has a proven record of keeping the peace and honoring those in uniform. He has joined us on our mission for answers, and he has given hope to our extended Gold Star family.
The convention wraps up Thursday with former President Trump's speech as he accepts his party's nomination. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Milwaukee.
As you heard Vance say there, he is from Middletown, Ohio, but he did mention late in his speech his Breathitt County family connections and repeated something that he has said before, which is that he wants to be buried in a family plot here in Eastern Kentucky. There is still a divide among Appalachians when talking about J.D. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy. One of the main arguments is the message behind the book. Some say it's just based on his own memories. Others say it has taken a broader meaning. Read Appalachia founder Kendra Winchester says the book talks negatively about several people.
He talks negatively about people who are economically disadvantaged, who are facing economic hardship. He talks negatively about Appalachian people and saying they're like uniquely lazy. Sometimes he even describes them as uniquely violent.
Winchester says there are also books written in response to Hillbilly Elegy. There was also a movie based on the book, directed by Ron Howard. President Biden has tested positive for COVID. The president was supposed to speak tonight in Las Vegas. An organizer for the event says the president decided not to attend because he does not want to get anyone sick. The president's doctor says his symptoms are mild.
Well, as expected, we had temperatures today in the mid-80s. A couple places reached 90, but much cooler today as compared to the past several days. We made it to 86 in Hazard, 88 Manchester, 88 in London. If you were in Middlesboro, Harlan, Jonesville, you did hit the 90-degree mark today, 91 in Middlesboro, 93 in Jonesville. We'll see cooler temperatures as we go into the day on Thursday. And right now we're seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s, 69 in Clintwood, 68 in Wise, as well as Jonesville, 72 Hazard, 75 in Jackson, as well as Irvin. Same story in Somerset and Monticello. So here's live pinpoint Doppler radar. We're seeing a little bit of a renegade shower just to the east of Pikeville. Otherwise, the green that you see on the radar, false echoes being picked up at this time. A lot of us staying clear. We are keeping an eye on a line of showers and thunderstorms to the west of us. That'll push through as we go throughout the overnight hours. And again, we're seeing temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. The next several hours keeps us in the 70s. When you wake up in the morning, we'll see temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. I'll have the first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. An Eastern Kentucky doctor is sentenced to prison for prescribing drugs without proper exams. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports Jason Stamper admitted to distributing amphetamine without a legitimate medical reason. He practiced in Pikeville. His plea agreement says he prescribed drugs used to treat ADHD to an undercover officer. He only checked his vitals before writing prescriptions. He'll serve 2 years and 8 months in federal prison. Crews have recovered the body of a missing teen from the Kentucky River. The 16-year-old went missing late yesterday afternoon at the Fort Boonesboro State Park close to the riverbank. That part of the river had a public beach at one point, but it was closed to swimming in 1993. Police have not released the teen's name. A former employee of Kids Being Kids Daycare in Corbin claims she witnessed troubling behavior from the daycare's director and reported it to the state. The employee's report alleges on June 20th, the director started, quote, smacking one of the kids. The former employee says shortly after filing the report, she was terminated.
On July 5th, whenever everybody picked up the checks, there was letters in the check saying that we are terminated for unsatisfactory work. And she won't, give any of us an explanation on why she fired us.
She says she and the other employees who reported the incident were all fired. The Cabinet for Health and Family Services confirmed they are investigating a situation involving Kids Being Kids Daycare in Corbin, but they could not release any other information. Our sister station reached out to Kids Being Kids Corbin for comment. They told them the employees were fired for unsatisfactory work and say they are cooperating with the state. A health fair in Floyd County brought programs to the community today, hoping to help connect folks with the things they need. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more from the Wayland Gymnasium.
A community outreach all about creating access.
I've always wanted to come back to this community and help. This is where I grew up. This community built me, so why wouldn't I want to come back and help this community?
Appalachian Regional Healthcare and its partners hosted a community health fair Wednesday.
Getting health care out to people and getting information and knowledge. Knowledge is power, and if they won't come to me, I'll come to them.
The event brought some of the ARH programs to the people of Wayland.
It has a hometown feel. I think people are comfortable to come through the doors. They know they're going to see faces that they're familiar with. This is home for people.
Showing them what is available in their own backyards, encouraging them to educate and evaluate when it comes to their own health.
Some people are kind of apprehensive about coming and checking out, like especially our program, because it is mental health, and they're not aware of some of these other resources that we have available in the community. And this is kind of a good way to get everybody all together and see all of those resources at once.
Officials say community-centered programs like this are not only needed but necessary.
That's better than treating them for sickness. If we can do the health, wellness, and fitness piece correctly, and we can identify issues before they become the problem.
Keeping people happy and healthy right here at home. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The program also included information about the Floyd County School District and included Narcan training. The number of people asking bankruptcy courts to discharge their student loans is increasing. 588 people did so between October and March, which is a 36% increase from the previous 6 months. Department of Justice data shows that nearly all of those cases, 98%, were successful in either fully or partially canceling student debt. It's because of federal guidance from 2022 that makes it much easier for bankruptcy courts to do so. A group of students from Belfry Middle School traveled to Orlando for a Technology Student Association competition back in June. They left as nervous participants and came back national champions. WYMT's Neely Green spoke with the students that won the gold.
4 members of the Belfry Middle School TSA chapter created an invention that could protect students. The door jammer can be put on handles to prevent anyone from entering a classroom.
In case of an intruder, it goes on the door and it is to where no one can open the door.
Inventions and Innovations is the category they competed in. It required students to design a safety product.
We had to figure out what material to make it out of and what shape.
The students wanted to make sure when they created the product that it was durable and user-friendly.
We wanted one that was not too heavy, so any person could pick it up, but one that was also really strong.
The group advanced all the way to nationals, where they presented their product to judges, then awaited the award ceremony.
They got called up on the stage and they started announcing folks. They announced third place and announced second place, and then whoa, they won. They were blown away just about as much as I was.
The students say hearing their names called was a shock, and the support the community gave them was even better.
Once we made it there and we got on the stage and then they said first place, it was insane. And everybody was like reposting stuff on Facebook and they were sharing all our things. Like it was great.
Bringing a national championship home to the mountains. In Belfry, Neely Green, WYMT Mountain News.
In Orlando, the students not only competed but also got to have a little fun, including a trip to Universal Studios. This morning, young people in Laurel County gathered at the fairgrounds for the annual 4-H Ag Fair. Kids and young adults ages 5 to 21 learned all about agriculture and animal showcasing and judging. They also had a greased pig contest. Throughout the rest of the week, there will be showcases featuring animals from cattle to lambs. Elizabeth Easley is a 4-H agent in the county and says the main goal of the fair is to show the younger generation the value of farming.
The youth are our future. So if our future does not know where our food comes from, if they do not know how to grow food properly, if they do not know how to take care of the animals properly, then we're going to have a problem.
Tomorrow will be the Lamb and Goat Show. Registration begins at 7:30 a.m. You can find more on this week's events on our website, WYMT.com. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, current and former WYMT employees come together to celebrate former Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson as he continues to battle brain cancer.
And as advertised, we had temperatures today in the mid-80s, and the cooling trend will continue as we go throughout the week. We'll talk about that in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Stay with us.